I think that was the reaction of my organizer when I said, let's talk about Four Noble Truths, and the reaction was, because especially here in Mangala Vihara, I mean, you have Four Noble Truths coming out of your ears, right? You go YMBA, Four Noble Truths. You go to the general degree, Pali College, no Four Noble Truths. Then occasionally a monk come in, Four Noble Truths. Why this sister Sylvia? So many things to talk about, Four Noble Truths. Because the entirety about the Dhamma is really about dukkha and cessation. The whole reason why we are even here is really about the Noble Truths. Fundamentally, it is with the notion of dukkha. Fundamentally. Basically, what is happening is in life, we may or may not realize it, but life is not easy. It is hard. From the small hard, the minor inconveniences, minor ones, to the excruciating hard. So normally, when you suffer a lot, the minor inconveniences, you see them no up. They're not suffering, they're not difficult. It's just hot. What's the problem with hot? So you're not too affected. But nonetheless, your system still doesn't like it. Okay? And it is normal. Now, I want to also stress this point. When we have this reaction, another thought for Noble Truth, the odds are you know it in terms of the 4 of them and the 8 of them. But let me stress, knowing them is not the same as understanding them properly. And I will say this, my first exposure to the Four Noble Truths, my first exposure was 1993. When I was a young newbie stumbling my way to Mangala to learn YMBA, year 1, get introduced to the Four Noble Truths. This is 1993. 30 years later, I am still discovering new angle to Dhamma Bhavatana Sutta, which is the sutta that started this Four Noble Truths Eightfold Path. 30 years later, 30 years of meditation and exposure and reflection and reading and teaching again and again. And when I was preparing for this talk, yes, I prepared very well and very carefully for this talk, I was still discovering new angles. So I assure you, there is much to learn here. And it would be excellent for your practice if you're very serious about understanding the Dhamma. You want to memorize this in English, of course. In Pali, unless you're a Pali scholar, I would advise you English is good. And if you're more proficient in Chinese, go ahead. Mandarin is fine. But memorize it. Learn it by heart. Know it by heart. Because what you want is when you are in the toilet, when you're sitting on the bus, when you're walking somewhere, the Noble Truths wakes in you. You have that moment of glimpse into what it means. Those moments are very precious because those will be your awakening moments. This is what I call the aha moments. And when you have a truly deep ingrained of this Four Noble Truths, in one of your many aha moments, you have one that goes boom into your head, right? That may well be your stream entry, Okay? Why you sneaker so happily? Why are you laughing at yourself? I have more faith in you than you have in yourself. No, I'm serious. When, or one of these aha moments, one of them, when it hits you deep enough, and your tears start flowing. Oh yes, it usually comes with the tears. Because it's the joy of eventually, for once in your life, you are within grasp, within walking distance of the Ma. How not to cry? It must be the uwewe type of cry, okay? The, wow, so beautiful. Must be like that, huh? Must be like that. Okay, this will be your first glimpse. So when, for those of you who said that, oh, I have had this crying moment, later we can have a conversation, sideline. And I'm not sure if you are aware, but only the Arahants are truly, fully awakened to the noble truths. Okay? This concludes my slide 1. I have 16 to go. Oh no, 15 now, 15. Okay, now, so what are they? This, you know, right? Here in Mangala Vihara, I'm quite sure. I taught this to a bunch of students in one of the universities, which shall remain unnamed. Oh my gosh, they didn't know. So I had to bring out this. I thought I'll just play it safe today. I will pull it out here. You know. And it has to be recited like this. The noble truth of dukkha. I use the word dukkha. I'm not using the word suffering. So bear with it. Why dukkha? Because dukkha actually captures the entire spectrum of dis-ease, stress, if you like, the full spectrum. Not just suffering, which is so excruciating, right? Like you die and you melt on the floor type, that's suffering. But even when it is inconvenience, even when you're uncomfortable, when you're a little bit bosong, just a little bit, it's considered dukkha. Okay? So the first one says the noble truth of dukkha. The second, origin, the noble truth of origin of dukkha, meaning how dukkha arises. 3, the noble truth of the cessation of dukkha. And 4, noble truth of the path leading to cessation of dukkha. This is how it is often said. This is what it actually means. I promise you plain English, so plain, okay? Actually, in life, for most parts in life, we are in a perpetual state of stress. Perpetual. Why perpetual? Because at any one time, there's a very good chance that you don't feel great. At any one time. Just a little bit, huh? Like, my posture wrong, I turn this way. Dukkha. Then you're like, oh, that's dukkha. Yeah, dukkha. Aircon a bit not so dukkha. That's dukkha. And at any one time, there's a very high chance that you are in it. I tell you why. How many of you would say, I worry? I do have worries. Hands up. Should be all hands. Okay? How many of you would say, I get a little bit, because I very well practiced, a little bit restless? Hands up. Come on, cannot be no hands. Okay? How many of you would say, oh no, I got one thing, I want to eat this, I don't want to eat that. I got. Change channel. These days, no need, everybody have your own iPad. In the old days, you fight over the control. And it goes on, right? How many of you say, even coming for Dhamma talk, I don't really know whether I understand or not. A bit anxious. All this, dukkha. So it actually, you are perpetually stressed, perpetually. From here, you walk to the bus stop stressed already. Bus stop so far, train so loud, so dark, for how, you are perpetually stressed. Correct? Okay, next. We are stressed because we are always wanting something. We are always having preferences. I use the word preferences because when I use the word craving, people say, what bo? I know craving. I know craving. Arahan, no craving. But when I use the word, a bit of preferences are to a bit. You open the cupboard and decide what clothes you want to wear already. Stress. Should I wear black? Maybe I should wear white. Go to Dhamma class, must wear white. Seriously, wear whatever. Just wear something. Right? This is the one that people don't realize. Actually, you have this all the time, by the way. If you think that the third noble truth arises for you only when you're enlightened, you are wrong. Actually, the third noble truth arises for you all the time. Every time your wanting stops, your preferences stop, at that moment you experience, right? That's the cessation of that stress. That one. But new ones are queuing up behind. Okay? So new ones queuing up behind already. That's the problem. You don't realize that you are experiencing cessation of dukkha because the new ones are ready to go. The moment one passes on, fella will step up and go, ta-da, new version. Agree? That's why you don't realize it. So 1, 2, and 3 are actually experienced at all time. The moment you let go, okay, feel better. Then, guess what? We start again. Deja vu, right? Start again. The one that you need to pay particular attention to as part of Dhamma practice is this one. The right mental conditions, the stress will naturally cease. I stress the word. It's natural. You don't have to stand there and go away, let go, let be. You don't have to keep saying that. It should fade away. The stress will fade away. When you forgive, anger drops. Right? You may be very angry with someone, very agitated with someone. But the moment you say, swat lah. Close the eyes, die already, swat. This is my mother's favorite expression, so I must share it. Then what happens? The anger drops. The challenge is not 1, 2, and 3. The challenge is 4. The entire practice, when we say Dhamma practice, it's really about number 4, truth 4. Building the correct mental conditions. When those mental conditions are in place, the craving will cease. Craving stops, dukkha stops. It's like that. You cannot stop dukkha. You can only try and tone down craving. When craving comes down, dukkha comes down. That's basically what it is. Okay? So therefore, the Four Noble Truths is really about your life, your reality and how you experience life. Let me explain. If you are someone with a lot of wantings and desires and craving and preferences, you're very particular. The water bottle must put here. Cannot put here. Why? Because here nice, here not nice. You're going to have a lot of dukkha. The more particular, the more nitpicking you are, congratulations, you will get first class dukkha. Not first class diploma honors, It will be first class dukkha. Unfortunately. And the only way for that dukkha, that dukkha to evaporate is when craving evaporates. You must learn to say, Ayah, here lah, here lah, here, here, here. I don't care. Even you don't put anything, I also don't mind. Very good. This is when progress is made. Okay? I just said that, right? 1, 2, and 3 are obvious. It's number 4 that is the big challenge. Now, invariably, we must go through that sutta. We have to go through Dhamma Chakkappavatana Sutta. The sutta on the turning of the wheel of Dhamma. Why? Because if you don't look at that sutta and understand it completely and properly, you don't really know how to cultivate, how to develop properly. And you may not realize what are some of the significant things, significant milestones to look out for. So I'm going through the sutta. This is the part where we go off the plain English. It's no longer plain English. It's going to be canonical English. Okay, but it's okay, I will guide you along. Okay, first look at me. I will give you time to look at the screen. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. Let me explain some things first. If you go through the sutta, you will realize that the Buddha started off talking about the path, i.e. number 4, truth number 4. He didn't start out going truth 1, truth 2, 3, and 4. He started out talking about number 4. And this is important to bear in mind because actually this sutta is about number 4. Okay? The Eightfold Path. What he called the middle path. Okay, in daily life, we are caught up in the 2 extremes. And the 2 extremes being you either give in to your impulses and you just go ahead and indulge, enjoy, gratify, and so on. You either do that or you go to the other extreme. Let's block yourself and cause yourself suffering. Okay, most of us don't cause ourselves suffering. Most of us end up in one extreme. But there are people, especially practitioners, who are very serious about the thing. So they do things like don't sleep, stay awake, die also must stay awake, that kind. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that if you do it without proper understanding, it may not help in the practice. If you understand what you're doing and you have clarity in what you're trying to achieve, and you know you're guided by a good teacher, go ahead. This is part of your journey. But if you don't know and you have this impression that the more you suffer, the more enlightened you are, that is not a correct view. This is what the Buddha will call the wrong view. And I cut it off into these 2 parts. Actually, there's one slide that's not quite here. Let me explain something first. I might have taken it off inevitably. But let me just explain this. Dhamma Chakkappavatana Sutta was the first sutta taught by the Buddha. You all know that. See, I see all this wise nodding. Yeah, correct. Okay. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of the Buddha. Okay, in the slippers of the Buddha. You just put your mind. You are new. You spent 6 years trying to figure out how to liberate the mind and experience no more arising of dukkha. You spent 6 years. And these 6 years, literally, you went to hell and back. He almost died in the process. The moment he was enlightened, his instinct was really, very hard. I think better not teach. Very vexing. Because why? The normal, regular human mind is not inclined towards the Dhamma way. It is not our instinct. our instinct is to indulge, to enjoy. This path requires you to change a lot of things, which I will explain at the end. You change a lot of things. So his instinct was actually not to teach. But we were saved by Varakma Sahampati, who came before the Buddha and went, Bante, you must teach. There are beings with little dust in their eyes and they can understand, but when you don't teach, it's over for them. They will come and spin around and around and around. And the Buddha scanned the world and said, you're right. There are the right mental conditions. You must remember this. This is about mental conditions. You have the right mental conditions, you can see the Dhamma. You don't have the right mental conditions, you can't. It's very, very difficult. Okay, you understand that, huh? So he scanned, and therefore, the next thing he had to do was he had to find suitable candidates. So in his mind, he was checking out the people that he knew. Surely he must look out for the ones he knows because he would know their mental states best. The first two he rejected because they passed on. They're no longer human. That's how we know if you're not a human. You can learn. You can learn. But one of them is in the Arupa Jhana. Cannot totally cut off from life consciousness. He cannot. There's no way he can. Okay? And then he remembered that 5 guys who were with him. This means the 5 of them had necessary mental conditions. Otherwise, he won't pick them. So, because they have the right mental conditions with one exception, they don't have saddha. Saddha means faith and confidence. They left him because they were disappointed that he took a grain of rice. Very high standard. But they have virya, they have restraint. They have sati samadhi, they have the calm mind. And they have wisdom. They knew there's something off with living. That has to be changed. So they have mental conditions. They just lack the one which is saddha, faith. Okay? The Buddha said, I can, these 5 can. And he made his way to them. You know that, right? Okay. Then when he met them, what was the first thing he had to do with them is get them to restore faith in him. Because if they don't restore that faith, they cannot hear his words. That's why the first engagement, he had to tell them, I'm enlightened. Hello, since when you hear me talk like that? Singlish. Of course, he said it with a lot more dignity. But they call him avuso, which means friend. They call him friend. He says, cannot call friend, because I'm no longer the guy you knew. You will say, oh, but Buddha got pride. No, he had to restore faith. Without which, so he had to have them realize and accept he is a teacher. Otherwise, they cannot hear his Dhamma. This is fundamentally one of the critical, in fact, the most critical mental state, which is saddha. It is the opening shot. Without faith, without saddha, you're going to stumble your way for another eternity. Okay, maybe not eternity, that's too long. For hundreds of years, thousands of years, aeons. That saddha is very important. So once they started, once they had that, he started. And it went like this. Now you ask yourself, this Buddha suffered 6 years, realized, first business, opening para, there are 2 extremes. Which means this sutta is really, it started, the first thing he had to tell them is, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Therefore, the Dhamma, the key critical element in the Dhamma is really the path. First, I know, for most of us, we always had this impression that Dhamma is about seeing reality as it is, right? Yatha Buddha Jnana Dasana. It's always about that. But that's only part of the story. I want to stress this, it's only part of the story. You see reality as it is so that you are incentivized to walk the path. Otherwise, there is nothing incentivizing you. You understand, huh? Okay, I don't think you really do, but it's okay. let's just move on first so that I can continue with Dhammacakka. Okay, there are these two extremes which should not be followed by one who has gone forth into homelessness, and the other two extremes. I won't go into details. And he said, without going into these two, I introduce the middle path. And the words are, give rise to vision. Give rise to knowledge. Rise to vision, it means it creates in you an idea. For one moment you go, aha, that's an idea. It is not see things, huh? So don't imagine that it's about seeing things. It's really an idea that arises and it gives rise to knowledge. This idea doesn't stay as an idea. It will grow and develop into something more substantial. So from the idea comes the knowledge. Point one. So in whatever path, whatever practices that you have, when there is a moment, a eureka moment, it will start as an idea and becomes knowledge. It doesn't stay as an idea, vague notion. It will not. It becomes knowledge. So it has details. It has the, so it means like this, and it goes on. That's point one. Point two, leads to peace. Peace, which means in a moment when there is an experience of awakening, that you understand the Dhamma, in that moment, there is always a part of you that go, so beautiful. Okay? It is an experience. So from cognitive, vision and knowledge are cognitive, intellectual, something processing, to an experience. You will feel good. I mean, who feels bad when they are at peace? Peace has to be good. So when there is an awakening, an understanding of the Dhamma, in whatever small ways, you will feel good, peaceful. This direct knowledge is, what it means is, you now know exactly what the teaching is about. You have hands-on experience. This is experiential knowledge. Dhamma is no longer just an idea, just tons of words that you have to memorize. It becomes that one moment when you go, oh, so this is how all the dots are connected. I'll give you an example, just so that you know what I'm saying. How many of you drive? Many of you. The ones who don't drive, do you cycle? Because walking cannot help. Maybe swimming. Okay? So I want a skill that's very new to you. And you have to learn it in order to get it. Okay? It's a skill. So it's juggling, also can. Cooking better be Michelin star. Okay? But you know what I mean. It is a skill. When you first learn, you were taught the steps. It's called coloring by number. 1, 2, 3. 3, see this, turn left 2 times, see that, turn right. That kind, coloring by numbers. Okay? Okay, you all know, I don't bicycle, so I cannot quite use the same analogy. But an enlightenment moment for the drivers, an enlightenment moment is suddenly there's a picture in your head how the car moves as you turn left and right. Yes? You kind of have a sense of, when I do it this way, the car moves this way, it can slot in that way. So what happens is, in your brain, the picture appears. And now you can do it blindfolded. I would advise it, but you can almost do that. Okay? And don't look like that. Example. The second time, when the map appears in your head, and you kind of know how it connects, you can even feel the car. That is a kind to direct knowledge. is experiential. Not just steps, blind step 1, 2, 3, but you kind of know what to do. You know what it means. Now you can explain because you have experienced it. Okay? So that's what it means. Enlightenment, Nibbana is an experience. You will experience Nibbana. So you will see that here the Buddha is saying, if you cultivate all the necessary mental states, this Eightfold Path is actually a series of mental states. Okay? If you cultivate all these, what will happen is you will be enlightened. That's the last point. But it starts off with an idea. It transforms into knowledge. And you feel peace. You must feel the peace, the joy. When you feel that, the mind brightens up. Now you know what it means. Now you can connect the dots. Now you can explain properly. This is your enlightenment. And then you experience Nibbana. Nibbana is experienced from the point. From the point there is an understanding. There is a little bit of Nibbana. A little bit. Because it means, Nibbana means a state of mind where no craving is present. There is no craving. That is why the Buddha had said, you go deep into jhana. Jhana is experience, is a taste of Nibbana. It's an experience. It's a taste of it. Okay? And same thing. What is this middle path? And here you must memorize. Don't think that you can suka, just plug. Right view, right speech, right action, is anyhow whack. Cannot. It's called the Dhamma will. A will means it must go according to its pace. One spoke leading to the next. You anyhow go plug that wheel, the wheel is not going to move. So your Dhamma chakra becomes, don't know what chakra. Chakra means wheel. Jalat chakra. Okay, it doesn't move. So, the Dhamma wheel, the 8 steps, starts with, it's right there. Okay, read. Huh? Read. Right view, right thought. Must be right, huh? There is a reason why the word samadhi, the word samma, there is a reason. Buddha never do anything without reason. You see a certain flow, you better follow that flow. Remember it that way, okay? Right view leading to right thought. I will just do a quick one because today is about Four Noble Truths. It's not just about the path. I'll do a very quick one. Let me just explain it very quickly. Right view. The word is diti. You will see this varied translation. Understanding, view. Any more? Any different ones? Understanding, view, perspective, perception. Actually, this view is literally, in my mind, is sanya. Okay? This right view is sanya. Perception. Your baseline instinct. The lens through which you see the world. It's a lens. How many of you believe in meritocracy? Better all the hands are up. All of you do believe in meritocracy, right? Yes? Yes, everyone? Hello? This is Dhamma engagement. Okay? You all agree, yeah? Okay? If you know someone got a position because of connection, how do you feel? Like not right, leh? Correct? That's because your perception is meritocracy. If your perception, if you are born in medieval Singapore, you're born in medieval Singapore, and in this medieval time, Connection is it. What meritocracy? There is no such word as meritocracy. Then in that world, no problem. Exactly what it is. Correct. He go look for a patron got him somewhere. Correct. So view, it's a value system. It's a value and belief system. It shapes the way you see the world. Most of us, our view is miccha ditthi, wrong view. Why wrong? Number one, we say earn money is good. Work hard, earn money, be promoted, all very good. I'm not saying it's no good. I'm just saying we believe that way. That's why got dukkha lor. If you say, I really don't care, I really don't mind, then no dukkha lor. Then you say, sister, are you saying we should not be ambitious? I didn't say that. I'm just telling you, you choose your poison lah. Basically, you have to choose your own poison. If you say, I'm prepared to take dukkha so that I can be multi-trillionaire, okay, so be it. It's your choice. If you say, I only want three good meals, my family are well fed, we are comfortable, we have no debt, that's all we want. Very good. It means your worry will be less. That's all. It's proportionate. Okay? So this view, this perspective, it has to sear into your brain. The Four Noble Truths as a package deal has to be seared into your brain until it becomes instinctive. Instinctive. It has to be. If it is not instinctive, you will have dukkha. If it is very instinctive, dukkha will be reduced significantly. Okay? Because this is your perspective. This is your start point. Because of that, you will then have right sankappa. It's called thought. Actually, it's also intention. Your karma, the choices you make. That is samma sankappa, the choices you make. If your views are inconsistent with the Dhamma, the choices you make will be, I like to accumulate, not to let be. Nekkamma is to let be, right? If your view is fastest best, brightest best, score PSLE 4 A-star best, if this is your view, there is no way you are going to let be. If your view is, doesn't matter lah, primary school, later then can catch up, it's okay. Then you will not have, that would mean you let go of PSLE lah. Again, I'm not saying right or wrong, I'm just telling you factually. I must constantly put the disclaimer. Otherwise, people will just go off and, she say no need to study leh. She say, we can all be beggars on the street. It's okay, it's a good thing. Never said that, okay? I just want to stress. If you have no strong preferences, that's where they are linked. If you have got no strong preferences and your instinct is one of letting be, it's okay, let be. If that is your instinct, are you going to be angry? What are the odds that you will? What are the odds? Very little, right? You are not going to be so easily riled. You're not going to be so easily upset. Agree? That's why it's connected. You let go, nekkamma, renunciation, letting go, letting be, it's okay, it's okay. Cannot remember, say it's okay. Then, the second one, because there are three of them, the second one will be, you won't be easily upset. You will not be. So anyone who quietly know that they have a hot temper, I tell you, it's because your preference is very strong. Which means then your miccha ditthi very strong. The view is all linked. Okay? So, right view, right renunciation, letting go, right, then you will have not much anger, very mild, very little. When you are not easily angered, when there is no anger, there is no cruelty. How can anyone be cruel when they are happy? It just doesn't make sense. That's why the three of them are connected. Understand? So if you know someone who's cruel, you know the fellow has very strong anger, you know that fellow has very strong preferences. That's all. That's what it means. Okay? And it will translate into the way you act, the way you speak. So speech, action, livelihood, because they are Sangha members, this aspect of livelihood was a big thing he stressed. And therefore, if right thought is in place, your speech, your action will all be okay. You're not going to offend, you're not going to hurt people. I stress this because many a times we see action, we hear words, we don't know what's in the mind. So I'm telling you, if someone instinct is to be very negative with their words and very negative with their action, don't help, don't help. That kind, you can be sure this is not a proper Supatipano practitioner. Supatipano, conscientious, okay? A conscientious practitioner will not, they may say something wrong, but it's not a consistent thing. It cannot be. Cannot be, because right speech and action comes after mind. The first two is mind. Then comes speech, action, and livelihood. Then finally comes right samadhi. Effort, mindfulness, samadhi. What this means is, if you started out your path going straight for meditation, thinking you can get a quick one, then enlightenment, then sui liao. Sorry. Panya, wisdom, and sila, morality, not there. You can sit until your leg fall off. It wouldn't work. It will not work. Because this is a will. This is not three separate pillars. This is a will. They spin. When the mental states work together, your Dhamma journey is a breeze. It's a breeze. If those mental states are not in place, you got patchy one, let's say scale of 1 to 5. Every one of them, scale of 1 to 5. So, right view, 2. Right thought, 1. If 2, then it has to be 1. Speech, 1. Then everything 1, jialat. You can't already feel, no A star. This is a direct F. What does it take for the mind to explode momentarily? There is this awakening, momentarily. Most of us will have to do it slowly, like momentary, like that. This kind. In order to that, every time the mind, the mental states are aligned, every time they are aligned. So like you go for a retreat, you're very happy, very joyous, aligned. That is when the enlightenment moment will pop up. The little ones, the micro ones. So we call micro and macro. Okay? The micro ones will pop up. You go for a Dhamma talk, you go and listen, go and learn. You go and have a sitting at home, you have a conversation with friends. In all those little moments, if the mental states are aligned, pop, it will come out. One insight. Satu insight for you. Satu lagi for you. Because enough alignment. Okay? Okay, Okay. I will not spend too much time talking about this because I'm pretty sure many of you are very familiar. I will just do a very quick one. There are a few critical factors here. The one that people tend to forget is the first lot. We are very familiar with the being separated from something you love, you like, or being reunited with something, or be connected with something you don't like, you have disdain for. Very dukkha. Not getting what you want, very dukkha. You know all this. But there are two things here that you may not pay close attention to. So I'm going to stress on these two. One, the first one, birth, aging, illness, death. That one is completely beyond your control. The rest you can teach yourself to accept. But this process of life, this nature of life, Buddha is essentially saying, by the very fact you are born, you are literally waiting to die. And in this process of dying, you will suffer through creaking bone, arthritic bones, heart not as effective, kidney also got problem. Some of us need to go to toilet very fast. All kinds of issues. And the brain starting to fail us. I have problem remembering faces. So just you know, if I see you outside and I look at you with this glazed over look, it means I don't recognize you. It means the memory not very good. Whatever remaining grey cells better keep for Dhamma. Everything else, it's just another face. Right? But jokes aside, you know what I mean. Many of us here know what I mean. We are all growing older. We are all having issues. But, does it plague us daily? No. Unless you are told that you have a limited time left. Unless that is the case, the odds are you will ignore the aging, especially since you keep coloring your hair. You can't even tell, right? You can't even tell. So you will ignore the aging. If you pop Panadol and it settles the surface aches and pain, it's okay, we are good to go. You're basically patching and just making do. But that may not get us to redouble the effort on the practice. It may not. So this is the one that I want to stress. In fact, this is the one, you will notice, have you heard of the 5 themes? I forgot, 4, 5, AM 5 point something, 100 I think, AM 5 point 100, I think. 5 themes. I will grow old, not beyond growing old. I will fall sick, not beyond falling sick. I will die, not beyond death. I'll be separated from all that we love. And the only things we bring along, karma. It's supposed to be 5 daily reflection. When was the last time you think of it? I thought of it yesterday because I was preparing this yesterday. But seriously, I do reflect on this. I try to do it daily. It's just a simple reminder. Just a simple reminder to keep us anchored on reality. Is to keep us anchored on reality. Look, you all complain. Buddha says, see reality as is. See me see reality. What's reality? Those are the realities. That we are growing old, that we're falling sick, and it will happen, that we will die, that we will not have a permanent relationship. This relationship will end. It's very poignant, it's sad to think of that, but it's going to happen. And that we must be mindful of the choices we make because those are the karma that we bring along with us. So this is the first point I want to stress. The second point that I want to stress, you look at the last line that says, in brief, the 5 aggregates subject to clinging are dukkha, which means to say, one of the critical training you should do to yourself is to observe the aggregates. You've got to be very clear in your mind. What are the aggregates? This is a class of scholars. Therefore, everyone here, okay, most of you here, know the aggregates. Shall we repeat? Body, very good. Feeling, lovely. Perception, Shankara, volitional formation, and consciousness. Find someone who will guide you on a meditation that allows you to see these 4. The 5th one you can't see. when it's present, it's there. See these 4 clearly. As part of your daily practice, be familiar with them, the aggregates. Because these are the 5 aggregates that we cling to. That's what it means. These are the only 5 aggregates. Whatever you're clinging on to, the Buddha said, you can sum it up as these 5 aggregates. You think you're clinging to your better half. No, you're clinging to feeling and perception. And of course, body. Feeling, perception, and body. Agree? And actually, if your mind learns to be quiet, if your mind learns not to talk so much, what you're doing is you're reducing Shankara. When you reduce Shankara, you don't cling. But if you have a lot of thoughts, a lot of thinking, what it means is your baseline clinging is very strong. The more thoughts you have, the more desires you have. The more intense or the more number of desires. Either intensity or numbers. Suka you, or maybe both. Well, I explain what I mean. When you feel that someone has done wrong and you want to tell the fella off, your mind gets obsessed about that. I'm just going to tell the fella. I'm just going to tell the fella, don't say so much. Moderation, speech. But I must tell the fella, otherwise he will not learn. You talk, right? The mind keep talking, right? There's the intensity of desire, lor. So the more intense, the more you talk. The less intense, the more no thoughts. If you tell me, I don't think a lot, actually it's very easy to meditate. For those of you who think a lot, very hard to meditate. Very hard to meditate because you got a lot of desire. You have all the nivaranas all pai jit late for you to see. Pai jit late means line up and queue up for you to appreciate. Okay, the nivaranas. If you don't have a lot of desires, not a lot, you're not watching movies and you're not playing computer games and you're not, so that's the outside one, kamachanda, that's the outside one. Or you don't have a lot of anger, there's no one you're really angry about. It's all forgiven, all forgiven. That's why in Dhamma, in the Buddha's teaching, there's always this kayena, vacha, chittena, right? By speech, action, forgiveness. The reason is because you can forgive, the anger will go down, will reduce. Those are not just words for you to show off, okay? Those really has meaning. Calm down. And it goes on. You work very hard, you think very hard, your body and mind is always tired. And it's always agitated. You worry. Worry why? Because there's attachment. No attachment, no worry. You will only worry about either things or people you care deeply about. And finally, there is the skeptical doubt, vicikiccha. That one is also related to desire for thoughts. A lot of thinking. What if not? Maybe not like that, maybe like that. Congratulations. Your meditation is a bust. Okay? So, 5 aggregates. You look at the 5 aggregates. In everything that you have attachment for, it boils down to this. Either feeling or perception. These 2 are the most important. Because what you see, you perceive, you believe. What you feel, you are engaged. It is important to you. Those 2 are very important. With these 2, the Shankara will start. And that is your consciousness. Okay? I want you to pay attention to the word understood. The first noble truth has to be understood. You need to pay attention to the words because every noble truth has a different experience, different things to be done. This one, you need to pay attention to understand. What does it mean for you? It means in daily life, you want to spend time, every time you experience a sense of dukkha, You want to understand what is it you're clinging to. What is it? Which one? Oh, this is aggregate of feeling and perception. So you want to keep going back to recognizing feeling and perception. Feeling and perception, recognize that again and again and again. Recognize how the attachment is. How it become, why do you perceive something as beautiful? Why do you do that? You want to learn how your mind engages object and becomes fascinated and obsessed with object. You want to learn how the mind keeps doing that. Okay? The next one, origin. I will just say this. Again, you all must have heard this many times. I will just summarize this very quickly. Point 1. Look at the word. It is this craving leads to renewed existence. That's point 1. Which means to say the craving comes again and again. And the reason why it keeps coming up is because your craving in itself, the craving itself, is accompanied by delight, pleasure, and very strong pleasure and desire, lust. The word is not about sex only. If you anxiously want something, it means your desire is very strong. You crave for it. You want it. You want that char kway teow. Must be that char kway teow. I will die if I don't get the char kway teow. Like that. That count for lust. Okay? I hope it's just char kway teow. But you look at the next word. Seeking delight here and there. You must remember these words. Your craving will lead to renewed existence. You see, you think this is about rebirth. No. When you have very strong craving, do they come up again and again in your mind? Those are existence law. Those will be your bawa tangha law. Those are your bawa tangha. You have anger. You resent somebody. Then you forgot. Then you remember. And then the resentment starts again. That's renewed existence. Again and again. While mind, if there is no craving, there are no thoughts. You have many thoughts. All these thoughts are existence. They come again. And it's driven by craving. Then you say, yeah, but accompanied by delight and lust is either that or the opposite. Sometimes we are quite perverted. Like, oh my gosh, the word. We're perverted delight in pain. Boss scold us painful. Think again and again. We think again. But you say, but we're not delightful. I know. But you keep doing it, so it's perverted delight. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why do you keep thinking about it? I cannot forget. I think you're attached to self. You're so attached to self, that's why you keep thinking about it. If you're not attached to the self, you won't think about it. It's irrelevant. It's 1 5 aggregate scolding another 5 aggregates. What's the big deal? Yeah, it's true, right? He's 5 aggregate, she's 5 aggregate, you're 5 aggregate. So it's 5 aggregate versus 5 aggregate. We see who wins. All right? But if you think of it that way, you may laugh at it and you may feel better. But I just want you to remember, it's 5 aggregate versus 5 aggregate. Let's just let you know, okay? Accompanied by delight and lust, the idea here is feelings are involved. Craving involves strong feelings. It has to be. If it's neutral feeling, you don't remember. I call that underwhelming experiences. You will not remember. Who remembers brushing teeth, washing face? Nobody remembers, right? Or even, I don't know, wait for bus. If bus late, you will remember. If bus comes on time, you go up the bus, ka-ding, then you move on. You don't remember anything. And you don't think about it. You only think about it if you worry that you don't have enough money in the card. Now I know it's about card. Money in the card. Or you are worried that it's a bit late. Why your Dhamma talk late and so late? We're all not going to be able to catch bus. Those will make an impression. Otherwise, you don't remember. Okay? So feelings are involved and you keep. So this scary thing is you keep chasing. Seeking delight here and there. You keep chasing. You keep chasing. You either run away from pain or you chase after delight. You suka you. That's the way we are. Okay, so I know usually people talk about craving for sensual pleasure, existence and non-existence. Existence, non-existence is really the mind. Becoming here, and I don't think about it, not becoming. So it's inner world, outer world. Karma, sensual pleasures, is the outer world. Bhava tanha, vibhava tanha, is this inner world. And you will flip and flop between the two worlds looking for delights. Now, you all have pain before, right? Like suffer a loss of sort. 4D never strike, that kind. Okay. I don't want to talk about the death one. Let's talk about this. Wasted. Missed the bus. One of those moments. Okay. You have one of those thing, right? But then what happened? Go back and chase again, lor. Lost it, never mind. Plan the next round. So the mind has this habit to chase. And again, it will chase. That's all. That's what the mind keeps doing. You flip out, you flip out, you flip in. And it keeps doing that. And all that it is doing is looking for delight. And look at the word here, to be abandoned. What you need to understand is craving, not dukkha abandon. Craving is to be abandoned. You have to learn how to let the chasing cease. Stop. Because if this chasing can stop, you will experience cessation. That's what I said earlier. You will experience temporarily a cessation of dukkha, of object, a particular object. Now, this unfortunately is our habit. We got a lot more line up than cessation. We work so hard to seize one, then boom, there's a whole bunch behind, right? Agree? Yes? No? Never look at my mind, don't know, I do not go and check. Right? You want to forgive one person so hard. But when it's done forgiving, wow, whole family start already. This was what I don't like, this was what I don't like, this was what I like. Cannot. It's done like that, cannot. You must work not on the object, you must work on the person. It's a different story. Okay, now, look at the word again. Remainderless fading away and cessation of that craving. Remainderless fading away and cessation of that craving. What it means is craving will fade away. It will fade and it will stop. Naturally. It will fade and it will stop. Then comes this giving up and relinquishing. The problem is we go and pick it up again. Do you understand? You don't believe me, you look at your anger, and you look at your anxiety, you look at your fear, you just look at it, you don't do anything, it will start to taper off. It gets weaker and weaker, and it stops for a while. But you don't relinquish, you go take it up again, start all over again. That's why it starts again. So actually in this description here, in whatever sensations, whatever craving, it will fade away. The practitioner learns to give it up. Not hold on to it. Give it up. completely giving up. When you can give it up, you are free. But we never get to this point, you see. We only have fading away, then start again. We all believe in sequels. Part 2 and part 3. Part 1975, let's just part on. Do you understand this? This is a description of the mind. It is the description of the nature of craving. Craving will fade away for a while, but you must give it up. And you must let go, relinquish it. You don't give it up. Our problem is we keep going back and take it up again. I angry with you because I want you to apologize. Then I forgot already. It's faded away. I remember. You haven't apologized. Start again. Round 2. You understand? So what it is saying here, this experience of cessation has to be experienced. Realize is to be experienced. You have to feel it, get it, see it, taste it, realize it, and go, see, like that one. Has to be like this. So next time you get upset, you just don't do anything and you watch the anger fade away. When the anger has faded away, it actually means the craving driving it lost energy. It's faded away. Any negative, unpleasant sensation, sits on a one thing, sits on a craving. So every time you feel bosong, Singapore audience can talk like that. Every time you don't feel good, you must know, sitting there is craving. Okay? Craving is there. Then what you do is you just don't engage, just watch it. Don't talk up here. Don't say anything. Just pause and watch. You will notice it starts to fade away. And then you are welcome to say something and bring it up again to see for yourself, as the Buddha said. It will fade away, but it can come back because you didn't let go. If you do it perfectly, it will fade away until nothing is left. Remainderless fading away. It will end. And then you don't hold it, don't bring it up. Just let it be, let it go, gone already. If you get to that step, you will feel a sense of liberation. For that moment, you feel, I'm not caught, I'm not trapped by anger, by thoughts of anger. No more. You will let it go. And you don't keep going back to it. Non-reliance. No more depending on it. No more going back to it. And this experience has to be realized. You have to have. That's the reason why you are encouraged to do meditation, samadhi. Because the clearest experience of this cessation is when your mind has a naturally quiet, on a daily basis. Not just 7 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 7 o'clock at night to 8 o'clock at night. Only that period is samadhi. No. Samadhi is a whole day thing. It becomes a natural part of you. You have a mind that is naturally more quiet, less chatty, less talkative. When you have a mind like that, you can see cessation of craving, in which case you are experiencing some degree of cessation of dukkha. Okay? All good? Very good, very good. Well, at slide 8. Don't worry. Last few slides, we all can run through very fast, okay? Now, voila. Now we are into the Eightfold Path already. And it has to be developed. The mental states have to be cultivated. You think what? Dhamma is free. No, Dhamma needs effort. You need to put in the effort to achieve this. Okay? Picture taken. Next. Okay, I summarize it. If you can't remember 8, I will summarize it into 3. These 3 are non-negotiable. There is no such thing as, this life I do 1, next life I do 2, because your 1 will all be forgotten. And then the 3rd life we meditate. Okay? What you think this is? A la carte buffet. No. It's a degustation meal. At one go, you eat up the whole thing. Okay? You really want to practice? What does it mean by Dhamma practice? Actually, it means the cultivation of these 3 mental states. In a generic sense. It's generic. These 3 can be broken into different versions. And in the 37 Factors of Enlightenment, it comes in different versions, but it goes back to the same 3 fundamental, the trilogy. It's like the original Lord of the Ring. Perfect when it's only 3. Then 4, 5, 6, you're like, too much already. Okay? Original 3. Wisdom. I'm doing this in a summarized version. I'm actually writing a book on wisdom, so it's a lot more to say. But if I do that, we are not going home. Okay? So we will just do in simplified version. For this purpose, specifically, when it comes to wisdom, we are really dealing with perception. Seeing the world differently from your regular habits and narratives. Narratives means, you see, when you engage, your mind can't stop talking, but you must teach the talking to be talking wisely. And the Buddha knows that. The Buddha knows we are very talkative. So the Buddha gave you a whole series of things to talk about wisely. For instance, 32 parts, you all have heard of it? That's the Buddha telling you, talk of your body like that. Don't talk about beautiful hair, lovely nails, lovely luscious lips. No. Talk about fingernail, toenail, head hair, body hair. Talk like this: liver, kidney, spleen, blood, pus. Talk about those. Those also talking. That's also talking. Okay? And in the same way, there will be others, like non-delight in all the world, impermanence, anatta nature, dukkha, and all those things. These are themes that he said, you want to talk, right? You want to talk. Talk like that. There. So you see, just as a cute little example, if you are hungry and you see food, you will go, in your mind, you will go, wow, so nice. Oh, I remember this taste. I remember the taste, the delight of the taste, revisiting the taste. Yes? Surely I'm not talking to a room of arahants, right? Everybody agree, right? You talk like that. Then he taught the monk to say, I'm only consuming this food to keep this body alive. It's not to beautify the body. It's not for pleasure. It's not to have don't know what kind of wonderful experiences. It's just to keep this fellow alive. So that's a way of talking. If we want to practice, we will have to talk the Dhamma way. Talk the Dhamma way. Okay? So, changing perspective and changing narratives. This is important. I'll give you another example. Suppose, let's say, I have certain unique habits. I see someone performing, doing certain things, I get very annoyed. Let's say, I get very, very annoyed. Then my mind will say, this fella is A, B, C, I'm judging. By talking, changing narratives, I will be saying, oh, poor thing, he must be suffering. So it's an angry man, must be suffering. He is suffering, so when someone is suffering, what do? You help. Or you just let the person be. Let this anger fades away. So you're talking differently. Rather than sitting down there going, why he so like that? You will be saying, poor thing, poor thing. He must be suffering. Anyone who scolds, screams, shouts, has a lot of anger, scolding people, being petty and all that, they are extremely unhappy people. They are suffering. They may not know it, but they are suffering. So all you can do is to acknowledge your pain. If I don't have to deal with it, then I walk away, just move away. If I have to deal with it, then I must be mindful that you are in pain. When you treat someone who is in pain, you try and bring up patience and loving kindness, and etc., etc., etc. Okay? I know some of you are going, 准bo. Surely not like that, it is like that. You say Dhamma practice, ma? Practice is like that, no? Changing your own instincts. Okay? So that's wisdom. Because you understand. Because you have wisdom. When you have that in spades, the kusala mind becomes natural, the wholesome mind. So the sila really is taming all your hidden, instinctive drivers. Those drivers will be your greed, your anger, that delusion. Moha, loba, dosa, moha. So sila fundamentally is about taming the three drivers. The drivers of loba, dosa, and moha. Greed, anger, and delusion. Okay? And samadhi, if you can tame those drivers, those loba, dosa, moha, if you can do that, and in daily life, you are cheerful like a lark. You're a happy little bird, chirping quietly. Okay, don't chirp so loud. You're cheerful. Your mind automatically will kind of land in a quiet spot. It's automatic. You don't have to try so hard. If you come to me and say, sister, I don't know why my mind think a lot. In my head, it will go, because you got a lot of desires. Then you say, but I don't have desires. Oh dear, you also have delusion. I will, in my head, it will be like that, because this is how the mind works. You know, okay, maybe not delusion. No self-awareness. No self-awareness. Better, not delusion. We are all deluded anyway. Yeah. Do you understand? Okay? So, it is all... Look, you have heard of Paticca Samuppada, right? This class would have dependent origination. Even though I don't talk about it, now I say a bit. You all heard of this. But what does it mean? What is this dependent origination? It means our entire existence is conditional. All moment, every single moment is conditionally a reason. It sits on a baseline. It sits on a certain habits, certain instincts. Then as you figure your way around life, as you go around making choices, you are constantly shaping, reshaping habits and instincts, which will then serve as your baseline for the next lot of decision making. And this thing happens so fast. You are constantly, you think you are CEO of this guy. Okay, President of the United States of Sylvia Bay. Okay, yeah, whatever your name is lah. Okay? You think you're the president, but no, you are conditionally arising. You don't control. That is your will. Your will is a figment of your imagination. Let me ask you, how many of you have experienced insomnia? Surely everyone has. You try and sleep? Cannot. Condition salah. Condition tak ada, you cannot sleep. Condition right, the mind will drift, the body will sleep. You are conditional. Conditioning a reason. None of you have control over whatever is here. Your only control is what you put in here. Right? What you put in here is going to change the system somewhat. But if you have a baseline, which is the DNA a bit off already, you put in minimal. I eat so little. I eat tofu and steamed egg and nothing fried. I got high cholesterol. Why? Oh, sorry, genes lah. It's called luck of the draw. Your genes, genetic, right? You think that's the body. The mind is the same. The mind has exactly the same issue. The mind is also conditionally a reason. Conditional. I make you laugh. You laugh. Then you say, I can hear better. I'm doing this not for entertainment value. I'm making you laugh so that you can remember better. Okay? Because that is conditional. If I talk like that, and then you, so jialat, got to wait so long for her to say the next word, right? You will all fall asleep. Conditional. Okay? It is just like that. Why do you need to understand this? You understand this so that you can meditate. You want to be able to meditate. You want the mind to go quiet. You have to create the condition for it. And the critical condition is the lightness of the mind. If you whole day scold people, I guarantee your meditation is going to be hot. It's a pun. Okay? It's good. Your mind cannot lift, cannot float. Okay? It's just like that. Okay. Now comes all these new parts that it's good to be aware of. You look at the way he said it. This is the noble truth of dukkha. Thus, bhikkhu, in regards to things unheard before, there arose in me, the word is arose, naturally arising. In me, vision. So in Pali, chakum udapadi. And he repeats that, chakum udapadi, nyanam udapadi, panya udapadi, vijja udapadi, alokko udapadi. So naturally arising vision, I told you, is an idea. Suddenly, I think I have an idea. I know what it is. And then it grows into knowledge. And that is the foundation of wisdom. It's a mental state. Wisdom. Then this one, vijja. Your paticca samuppada starts with avijja paccaya sankara. Avijja, meaning to say this knowledge, this is ultimate truth. Ultimate truth. Realized. Ultimate truth realized. I'll be very honest, I still haven't figured out the light. This light. Because one teacher pointed out that this light is the enlightenment light. I have no idea what that means. So I cannot explain loco. Okay? But I can tell you up to vijja. Vijja really is when the dots are connected. And it is the ultimate truth. This is nibbana truth. There's this awakening to it. Now you look at it in 3 steps. This is the noble truth of dukkha. I put it in green. This noble truth of dukkha is to be fully understood. This noble truth of dukkha has been fully understood. What it means is, whether or not the Buddha is there, this is a noble truth. It exists. He realized that it has to be understood fully. Then, when he has reached the end of the understanding, he says, it's done, has been understood. So, in the enlightenment experience, it will be like this. You will first begin, as we all do, at the start point is, Buddha is right. This is the noble truth of dukkha. You realize, there is realization that the Buddha was right. You started off at a point when you don't know what he means. Yes? Or they all come prepared already, all know already. When you encounter the truth, there is the, hello, hey. No, there is one point. There will be one point in our life. In this life, there will be one point when, say what? Okay, what? Very easy, 4 noble truth can memorize. And then pass exam. But that is once upon a time. Then at some point, you realize that the noble truth describes your mind. This is when you go, oh, there is this noble truth of dukkha. The Buddha's teaching there, it makes sense. At that point is, it makes sense. Then you realized, oh, I'm supposed to understand it fully. I have to understand. So this is when you will start to dissect that. You start to look at evidence in your daily life. In daily life, this is dukkha, this is dukkha, oh, this is dukkha, oh, this is dukkha. You begin to have that kind of experience. And you say, but even if you don't understand Noble Truth, so you will have, yeah, this is dukkha. Yes, but you see, the regular person, when they experience suffering, what do? Run away. Get rid of it. But the way we do it is, no, you just sit and you understand what's going on. That's all. He never said the noble truth of dukkha is to be abandoned. He didn't say that, right? He said it's to be understood, which means all you need to do is to know this is dukkha, it is natural. This is how things are. And because I prefer otherwise, I'm experiencing the dukkha. So there's a physical dukkha and there is a mental dukkha. We can differentiate the two. You begin to see, you begin to differentiate. There's the body pain and the body suffering, and there is a mental pain, but the mental pain doesn't have to come. It can be separate from the body pain. Body is experiencing pain. I feel it. But the mind doesn't have to say, die咯, 我的命好苦哦. My life is so, 苦 is what? Suffering, so sorrowful. You don't have to get dramatic. You just accept it as it is. It's the nature of life. And over time, you will begin to recognize that it arises law. It is just like that. No need to engage it. Okay? At a point in time when you no longer have craving at all, and you really, really have no desire for rebirth. You just wait for this life to end. This is when you are Arahant, and this is where your understanding of dukkha is complete. And you will know. You will know. This is what it means. Has been fully understood, you know. Okay? And it goes on. Every step has an idea, a knowledge, the wisdom, the realization of what it means, and the light that appears. Everyone. You understand the truth, it has to be understood, it has been understood. Every one of them is an experience packed on its own. Everyone. It is not packaged deal. The light appears once only. No. Every time there is an experience, every time there is a Dhamma awakening, every time there's one insight about the Dhamma, at that moment you have the Chakku, the Jnana, the Panya, the Vidya, the Aloka. The whole thing. Okay, maybe not Aloka, because I still haven't figured out Aloka means what. But the rest for sure, you will have it. Because aloka could just be a light, this awakening. It could be. Maybe up here. Don't know, okay? Don't know. Okay, I said the word subtle, gradual awakening. And it's the same. Subtle, gradual awakening to the origin of the dukkha. Same thing. You realize it is not the dukkha you have to push away. It is the craving that you have to let go of. Abandon. Pahati. The word is pahati, which is to cut off, to drop, to let go of. Okay? It's the craving. And the same three things. The craving is real. It is there. You know it or don't know it, it's there. This craving now, with the guidance of the teacher, the Buddha, the teacher, the Dhamma, you know what you need to do, which is to abandon that craving. And if you can abandon the craving and it doesn't arise, if craving doesn't arise for you, you know it's over. Has been abandoned. It's over. The craving doesn't arise anymore. Okay? And it goes on. cessation. You see, this is my proof that cessation happens all the time. Every time you let something go, you experience a small, mundane, microscopic cessation of dukkha. Every time you let be, you feel it. But unfortunately, we didn't realize that you're not supposed to go pick it up again. So we go pick it up again. You're like recycle bin like that. Keep picking up, keep doing it again. Okay? We're not supposed to do that. We just let it go, let it be, stop it, end it. Don't go back to it. Don't go back to it. So that's what it means. Okay? And the same thing. And each of this is there. You realize it. You have all those awakening moments. You know it has to be it has to be realized, right? Cessation has to be realized. Then this is what it means. Has to be realized. And then when it is complete, this is the real cessation. This is the cessation of the aggregates. That is the real one, the deep one. That one really is remainderless, no more. Okay? And then finally, the path. So you must know your mental states. You must know panya, sila, samadhi, wisdom, morality, and the stillness of that mind, the quiet mind, the mind that is detached, observant, quiet, not a lot of thought arising. That mind is the mind that enables you on a daily basis to recognize what's going on in your head, in your mind. Okay? So you see, we are going faster. Finally, I want to just make this point. Knowledge and vision of the Four Noble Truths as they really are in their 3 phases and 12 aspects. So there are 4 of them, right? 4 Noble Truths and 3 aspects. You must know them in that way. To be understood. So your training, it's there, you know it. To be understood, has been understood. You know it's there, the origin. You know you have to abandon. You have completed that journey. It's been abandoned. And then the third one, cessation is there. You taste it, you realize it, and you know it has to be complete. And the fourth one, which is the most critical for the others to be done properly, the fourth one is the cultivation of the path. That's why it comes as number 4. Because cessation is there. You will experience it, but you don't know how to keep sustaining it. You don't know. You go back and pick it up. Sayang. Anger, sayang. You know, you will do that. You keep going back to guan si with your akusala. Then like that, lor. So the Buddha says it has to be like this. Huh? Okay, next one. When you enter the stream, because the first human in this Gautama dispensation to enter the stream, other than the Buddha himself, the first one entering via guidance of the Buddha was this guy called Kondanya. And immediately in him there is this understanding. Whatever is subject to origination is all subject to cessation. This again is your proof. Whatever comes up will fade away. Whatever comes up will fade away. All mental states will come and fade. Anger come and fade. Lust, desires come and fade. Everything arises will fade away. We just have to train the mind to let them fade away completely. Your attachment will be down to the degree that even to feeling, perception, Shankara and Vijnana, even at that level, there is no holding. When you can do it, you will experience cessation of feeling, perception, feeling and perception. And then it's over. Okay? And the Buddha was very pleased. This is extremely, you all didn't go, oh, sadhu, you need to do that. This is an extremely important point, okay? This story is extremely important. Why? Because it's proof that the Dhamma works. This is the proof that the Dhamma had worked. If no one in his first teaching, if no one had entered the stream, imagine how disappointed the Buddha would be. Not that he's capable of disappointment, but like, I thought until I died it, everybody blur. It's not so good, right? But Kondanya convinced him it can work. Indeed, there are beings with little dust. This was the important point. So one man with just one guidance entered that stream. So this is a beautiful, very, very critical milestone in Buddhist history. Okay? And then Buddha gave him a name, Anya Kondanya. Anya is understood. Kondanya who has understood. Okay, last slide. Actually, the Buddha's Dhamma had two trusts, two critical themes. Every part of the Dhamma you flip, you'll be dealing with these two themes. Okay? Ultimate goal, what is ultimate goal? Cessation of dukkha, cessation of craving, nibbana. That's the ultimate goal. In order to get to this ultimate goal, two things must happen. One, the manner in which you see and understand the world has to change completely. This is what we call the right view, but don't look at it as just a word. It literally means the way you see the world has to shift. If the way you see the world doesn't shift properly, you may not have full incentive to cultivate the other mental state so that your mind eventually is capable of letting go. I use my words very carefully. Capable. The mind can do it. It's not by willpower. You cannot will your way to Nibbana. Okay? You cannot will your way to Nibbana. They have to have the condition. Think of it. Think of Nibbana like making a cake. A cake requires certain ingredients. From the sugar, to the flour, to the eggs, to the air, and some skill. You whack the fellow together. Okay, whisk the fellow together, and then put into the correct oven temperature, it rises. Actually, our mind and the spiritual progress is like that. You cannot will your way to the end. You have to create the mental conditions for that realization to happen. And then naturally, you will let it go. Naturally. You cannot force the process. Forcing the process means you have desires. Desires are craving. Well done. Okay? Desires are craving. Okay. And nature of reality, all these Four Noble Truths, tilakkhana, dependent origination, so anicca, dukkha, anatta, impermanence, dukkha, and soullessness, and all these are part of the package we call nature of reality. There is a full story there. Then when you get that straightened out in your mind, there is a part in you that will say, then what am I clinging to? What is this all about? Sudala. Sudala is a very good word. It's not Dhamma, but it's a good word. It means your mind is beginning to be willing to let go. Okay? Okay, thank you. And now we take question. Any question?
There's only 4 minutes.
Good evening, sister. I have the first question. Yes. Thank you. You mentioned that when the Buddha gained enlightenment, right? You mentioned just now earlier when the Buddha gained enlightenment and then he don't want to teach. You mentioned something so fast, you speak so fast. Is it a deva or is it a...
Brahma, it's a Brahma.
It's a Brahma.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the name again, please?
Sahampati.
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 Okay. Can you maybe elaborate? Because I want to pay honor to this
Brahma?
Yes.
Oh, he will love it.
Because
Brahma Sahampati, we believe.
Because of him,
yes.
Buddha stayed back.
Yeah, he will love it.
Yes.
He'll be joyous. Sadhu.
I always want to, whenever I pass by a Brahmin, I always say thank you very much, Yes.
Sahampati.
So I don't know how to address him, you see, that's why.
Your Holiness. Actually, it's not the words, it's your heart.
Yeah.
So you just address as Holiness or Brahma, Sahampati, it's okay. You just bow and pay respect and say thank you.
A lot of Buddhists don't realize it because without him coming to the Buddha, actually a lot of people still spinning in the world.
Yes, indeed, you're right. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
but Brahma Sahampati, I think, if I remember from the commentary, I think he is supposed to be a stream enterer with a different Buddha. So that's why he was waiting for the next one to come to go and help the world, right? He was all ready. Then, done ready. The reluctance was there. You see, it has to be true. It has to be true because I really love the Pali Canon. I really love it because it captures warts and all, everything, all captured inside there. Imagine the Buddha that everyone was waiting for showing signs of reluctance. That's not a story you want to tell, The story you want to tell is the moment he realized, he comes out, here I am, I'm going to save the world. That story like more hero, right? Marvel. No, he's a very reluctant Buddha. He was reluctant. So this is not a story you want to tell the world. It has to be true. To me, when they tell a story that tells you like they were fighting in there, they have differences, they were embarrassing themselves, what's and all. It has to be true. Nobody captures. If you have a censor board, they will censor this part. But don't have censor board, so everything all captured. Yes, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, you first. Her hand shot up first, and then your turn. And then you. And then no more. Oh, okay, you, that's it. Please, go.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I think I have a question regarding meditation.
Yes.
So it sounds that is a good practice to have in Buddhism. But for people, I don't know, like me, for example, that I think a lot.
Yes.
It's very, very difficult to meditate.
Yes.
I tried a lot of times in my life.
Yes.
But I was unsuccessful. So what can I do from tomorrow to start meditation in the right way and then keep going? So what is an advice from you?
Gratitude comes easy for you?
Yes.
Very easy for you?
I'm grateful, yeah.
No, gratitude as a mental state comes easy for you? It arises spontaneously?
It depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
So someone does you a favor, you feel very joyous?
Yes.
Naturally?
Yes.
Then use gratitude for you, use gratitude as your start point. So be grateful that you have an opportunity to practice, that you have a bit of time to sit, that you have the capacity, the opportunity to quietly reflect. That's point one. Sit on a mental state that is wholesome and comes natural. That's point one. Point two, when you start off, keep the time short as you can. Say, I will only sit for 5 minutes, or I will sit only for 10 minutes. Why you keep the time short? So that you have no expectation.
Okay.
A lot of us, when we sit, we have expectations. When you have expectations, half the journey, half the fighting is lost. I shouldn't use the fighting analogy, but half the struggle is lost. When you sit, you want to sit with no expectation. You want to sit because this is joyous. This is quiet time for me. I love it. I'm just going to sit for 5 minutes. Then when you have no expectation, the minds go quiet faster. Then if thoughts arise, it's okay. When you set out, when you're new to this, thoughts will arise. The success, as long as you can see them come up, very good. Success for you already. So you must lower expectations, lower your achievement record. Just keep it down, keep it low. I can see you arise, very good. I see you arise, very good. And over time, if you can hold on to this awareness to arising, that's your start point. Huh? You can do that, that's very good. Then you must, when you end a sitting, you must give thanks to yourself. I made the effort. Well done. Do that. We do not want to self-flagellate. Oh, you're so hopeless, you. Why you sit like this also cannot? Don't do that. Okay, you must praise yourself, praise the effort, give thanks, and then tomorrow start again.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay.
Don't push up the time.
Okay, thank you so much. I will start tomorrow then. Thank you.
Next, you're next.
Last question.
Never mind. Do you want last question? You all don't mind sitting a bit more? It's okay. This is Dhamma. Dhamma has no time. Go. This one. We don't. You all can go off. It's okay. 9:30 already. Yeah? Catch bus.
Actually, I have a question on. This is related to what the first gentleman shared. It has been on my mind for a while actually, because Brahma Sahampati told the Buddha that he shouldn't continue that it's keeping the knowledge to himself basically. Yeah. But the thing is, we understand the Buddha as someone who has cultivated for many, many, many lifetimes out of compassion for future generations, right? And if he's a Buddha, he has an all-knowing eye. He can easily see that there are people that have little dust in their eyes. So why did he have to wait for the Brahma?
He wasn't waiting. He wasn't prepared to do it. No. You need to make a differentiation. You need to differentiate between the legend, which there are many myths. And your question actually just show up the inconsistency. When there are myths, mythologies, and fictions, there will be inconsistency. Okay? When it is the truth, this is the life of the Buddha, there is no inconsistency. So this thing about omniscient, he never said he was like that. Okay? Omnipotent. Nope, he never said he was like that. He pays attention, he knows. If you come within his space, he looks at you, he will know what's going on broadly what's going on in the mind. He doesn't stand on there and scan and he knows everything at every one time. It doesn't work like that. He can scan very quickly and get a sense of where the dukkha is, where the call for help is. But that's not the same as reading every mind. It is not like that, okay? And the other mistake, or not mistake, the other inconsistency is Buddha has practiced so many lives for saving the world. Actually, it was never written like this. In the Pali canon, it was never said anywhere that he came to save. In the canon. But in the stories, oh yes, 28 Buddhas ago, he already started his desires to save and all. We don't know. Those are commentaries. We really don't know. I cannot say they are not true. I cannot say they are true. I can only tell you it's not part of the canon. And because it's not part of the canon, I am more careful. In the canon, he mentioned a few Buddhas by name. He mentioned a few. He didn't mention 27. Okay? Just a few. So we know that there were other Buddhas before Gautama Buddha, and indeed there will be other Buddhas who will come along to rediscover the path. We know that. We don't know how many there were and where he made the vow. That is part of legend. Okay? Someone there. I think you're the last one. Lily is happy.
Yeah, thanks for answering. We learn about Four Noble Truths. Among them, the Nibbana. When can we reach the Nibbana?
When you complete the 3 aspects, the 12 aspects and the 3 phases.
Okay. They all say Nibbana only when you pass away, then you can reach.
Who say?
That's what last thing when they all say when we learn from Yan. But
Keep it
nowadays, yeah, they say you still can reach the Nibbana in this life. Is it true?
Yes.
Thank you.
Nibbana is experience. There are the mundane ones, and there's the real one, the one where there's no more arising of craving. When you have no more arising of craving, your experience of Nibbana is total, it's complete. At the mundane one, the momentary ones, is when momentarily the craving drops. At that splitting moment, you experience a relief, a cessation. That's also Nibbana. It's a titillating taste, but it's incomplete. You want to slot in one more question?
Yeah.
There's a last slide.
Yeah. You mentioned that the Buddha gave a name to the
Kondanya.
Kondanya. Yeah.
Anya Kondanya.
Isn't that enlightenment? The Nibbana? Really?
Yes, for sure. No, for sure that look, Nibbana, I must repeat, Nibbana, you don't believe me, you go and look at, I think it's Mula Pariyaya Sutta, MN1. It's mentioned there that people will experience Nibbana, but they don't recognize it. They don't know what it means. And they therefore, that experience is very short. It's without knowledge, without understanding, it means nothing. So they will experience, human, regular person can experience a moment of peace, right? You all have moments of peace. In all those moments of peace, it's a form of Nibbana, because at that point, no craving. No craving, Nibbana. But your moment of peace is literally moment. Right? Microscopic moment. Some of you have not remembered that for a long time. You need practice. Some of you do have it quite often, but not sustainable. Not like that, lor. Like that, lor. Dhamma is really all about the mind. Okay? Okay, right. Thank you very much.
Okay, before you all leave, just
Wait.
one announcement.
Wait. Can we all just share merits?
Announce first, then you do the
No, merits first and you share. You